You're watching Experience Comic Culture and Sales, streaming live daily to Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter.
Hey everyone.
Hello.
Glad to see you guys here back on a Thursday. We're actually up here in San Francisco because we're going to be doing an appearance at the Maid in Oakland. So if you're here this weekend, drop by, say hi, see what we got, and play the video games. It's a great museum for all these games that you don't really see too much of anymore. Tonight we've got a really big show going on. Tonight is the biggest show that we're putting on, and it's going to keep getting better. Tonight's special guest is Alan Carter. He does a series called Damn Tourists. Very, very interesting series, and he'll have a special deal that you're going to be able to pick up on that. Tonight also, we're going to be giving away a special Game of Thrones print that was an exclusive with Gem State Comic Con earlier this year. They actually, when they put that out, it was gone in 1 hour, so there wasn't any left. Okay, but they did sneak off a few copies off to us to do whatever we have, and I'll have 5 available later on in the show that you'll be able to just flat out claim. And Mog and Allen will still continue to draw, and they will be putting out a couple of pieces that you're going to be able to bid on. Allen will be drawing one of his, will be drawing from his series, so he'll give you a little snippet of that when we come back. Mog is going to be taking on Wolverine tonight, so you get a chance to bid on that. But in that last segment of the hour, you will also have a chance to win our giveaway, which is Dr. Doom, and it's a very interesting piece that Mog did. You can take a look at it right there. And to qualify to win that piece, all you got to do, we've made it a lot easier than what we were doing before. Once we figured out a few things out, just put in # Dr. Doom EXP in the comments, and that will qualify you in there. And we'll have a random drawing for that to see who will take that home. And right off the bat, we're happy to see Nathan Price and Stephen B is in the house. Glad to see you guys there. And on that note, we'll be right back, so stay tuned. Welcome back. Let me introduce to you Alan Carter. He is the creator of Damn Tourists. Jake, if you can bring on like one of those covers and just give everybody a peek of what that kind of looks like, that would be kind of cool. And so, Alan, I'm a little bit confused. Like, I know you're here in LA, right?
Yes.
Okay. But are you originally from Hawaii?
Yes, I was born and raised in Hawaii.
Oh, okay. What part?
Mostly on the Waianae coast. That's where I went to school.
Okay. Oh, way out there on the backside of the Kulau Range over there, right?
Yeah, much past Waipahu and Kapolei, Makakilo.
Yeah. That's getting to be like a really nice area now. It's still one of the cheaper places where you can buy a home. But ever since Kapolei got developed, the prices out there have been starting to like skyrocket. But there's still some pretty good deals there. All right, and so with your Damn Tourist series, when did you get started on that? How long has that project been there for you?
The concept started around 2000 when I was in college, and then the idea came about. I was coming home from class on the bus, and this rental car cuts us off, and then it's like, man, tourists don't know how to drive. I'm like, that might be a cool idea. And then I had like the characters and everything, but I was like, how do I make this into a series? It's kind of a cool concept. Is it like a superhero type of parody, or is it just a parody on visitors? And it took me a few years to kind of come up with the idea for the first issue. So by the time, probably around 2009, 2010, the same time I started doing conventions, that's when I was able to get the first issue done. And it was just taking these outrageous characters with these like exaggerated vacation habits or like superpowers and taking them to different places, starting with Hawaii and to LA and to Vegas. So it started like 2000, and then it pretty much was fine-tuned by maybe 2009 or so, because it was trying to find the right idea, the right the right type of series that would help for them.
And so since of 2000, when did you put out the first issue?
So that would have been, I think, 2000, either 2010 or 2011. I do remember I had it at a Long Beach Comic Expo, and I just had one issue because I had another series that I was going to pitch that I thought was going to do well. And sometimes you just never know. So I have like a whole set of one series, and then I have one copy of Damn Tourist because I wasn't sure how people were going to look at it. I was like, oh, it's for fun. And then, of course, everyone's like, wait, what is that? Oh, this is just some fun thing about tourists. Like, oh, do you have more? I'm like, I can at the next show. And then it just snowballed from there. And then you hear like a lot of different stories, depending on which convention I was going to. People would say, yeah, either I or my friend, they worked in restaurants when people would come over like for vacations, and they'd have to like deal with visitors like that. And everyone kind of had their own story, so they're able to relate to it.
Right. Even I have my own stories. I think growing up in Hawaii too kind of creates a special situation there, because I've got like my own stories as well. Like I used to work in a pineapple fields when they used to have them there. So it was not uncommon where the buses would just stop, right? And they would let the people out just so that way they could take pictures of us picking pineapple, right? And then they'd call us over and say, hey, can we take a group picture and all that? And the most common thing that we would get is that they would say, I thought pineapples grew on trees. So, and if anybody knows, it actually, they don't really grow on trees. They grow out of almost like a bush out of the ground, and it's one pineapple per plant, right? And it's kind of like a watermelon. It's that once it gives up its fruit, it'll give it up probably like a couple more times, and then that's about it. So we used to get like a crack up on that, right? The other stories is like how people make fun of the name here, because there's only 13 letters in the whole language, and that they use, and a lot of it is the most common letter they use is A, right? And you can hear this in like one of Joe Coy's skits when he's talking about when he was there in Hawaii, how if you ask them like what street do you want to go get to, all you want, or if they're trying to find a way how to get to a certain place, and the locals will go, well, you got to go down and it's kept going on, right? So there's those kinds of stories in there. So have you incorporated a lot of what you've experienced in Hawaii, or are you pulling these scenarios from different areas, or where are you coming up with all that stuff?
Hawaii was the start, so the first two issues take place there. So probably the first 2 years I was doing conventions, that's what people saw. And then later on, I added more different areas, like for LA, because it was perfect timing, because by the time I did a non-Hawaii story, I was confident enough, I'd been in LA long enough so I could mention certain things. Before that, I would be like, I haven't really gone everywhere. So it was the right time to do focus on Hawaii. So for, say, the first issue was very specific to the islands. It was specific to where I grew up. So it was the tourists being in a situation where they're traveling. They go to the Waianae coast, and they're trying to find a secluded beach. They get stuck in traffic, and I really mentioned the fact that the problem with the Waianae coast is that there's only one highway in and out called Farrington Highway, where if anything goes wrong, you are stuck. You're not going anywhere. But they cater to tourists so much that if they saw that they were tourists stuck in traffic, they're like, oh, this road we've been trying to make that people wanted that we're never going to do for residents. Oh, we're totally going to make it for visitors like 15 minutes. So I just totally exaggerate the whole thing about, and they don't even realize that they're being accommodated. They're just having fun. So it's one of those things where it's like, you can't specifically be mad at them. So it's a way to make like some real life obnoxious tourists just entertaining. And then second issue goes, it's more of the characters driving the story, where they're go to Polynesian Cultural Center. They think it's a real Hawaiian village. So they're just knocking over everything, asking ridiculous questions, and they wind up getting chased out to the airport. And then they take what they think is a private flight to LA. But in real life, no one wants to be on the plane with them.
Now, you have like what, 4 main characters that are in your series? Is that it?
Yes, 4 main characters that all travel together.
Okay, and are they friends, or how did they meet? Or
so they're all just assumed as friends, and some of their backstory is kind of like intentionally a mystery for later, as they travel more and people get to know just how annoying they are, and then they start to realize, hey, where are they from? Because we don't want anybody else coming from wherever they're coming from. So the 4 characters are Mr. Distraction, and he's sort of the leader, and they all have like their own kind of attire. So he's got the yellow visor and like this kind of cotton like collared shirt. They all have like khaki shorts on and loafers, sunglasses, and because each of them has like an annoying habit that's exaggerated, he's the person that has tunnel vision. So he's the person, if he's going to a theme park, like he'll be looking at his phone, he'll be knocking people over. He's distracted by like a scenic spot. If he's in a car, watch out, because he'll just run people over because he's out there like pointing, with the passengers about, hey, check out that.
Yeah.
There's misinformed, that's basically has like incorrect information when she travels. So, for instance, for Hawaii, she thinks that, oh, everyone's still in the hut, and there's no stores here and things like that. She'll believe like any type of outdated information. When she says that, she'll either give people headaches or put them to sleep. Right. Mr. Postcard takes horrible photos, blinds people with his camera flash, and then Mr. Aloha, which is one of my favorites, that's the character I'll be drawing. He has like a tacky like yellow orange Aloha shirt with like red like flower petals, and people just cover their ears when they come near him.
And I'm just I'm listening to all this, and I'm also starting to remember some of the things that we talked about, some of the incidents that we've also like gone through with the tourists there, and there's a lot. Like you had mentioned that like miswrong information, how she still believed that the locals still live in grass huts, right? And that's it is so hard to believe that in this day and age, that's what people think of Hawaii, right? And I've run into people that believe that to get to Hawaii, you need a visa, because they don't believe that it is part of the United States. They think that they're going to a foreign country, right? And other people that think that I forget what I was going to say now, but yeah, there's just like weird stories like that on how the what they think Hawaii is, right? And it's just still amazing, right? I actually worked in the tourist industry for quite a number of years too, and that was like 20, 30 years ago. And then when I went back about 10 years ago, I'm still seeing the same kind of stories and annoyances that the tourists were doing. And so, but now I just kind of like crack up at it because it's just funny. Before it used to be kind of like annoying, but now it's just like, oh my gosh, I just can't believe that they still believe that. Yeah, but it's incredible.
I will say that the mispronunciations, some of that does come through family. I had a family member that came over, We visited. We're on the freeway, like on H1, going to town, and he sees leaky highway of sort.
Oh yeah,
So he says
yeah. like. Yep. Yeah. There's that. That used to be like a really big thing because back then they also had leaky drive-in, okay, which was a very popular local food joint to go and get food, right? So they would like make that mistake as well. There's this one story where this guy is like standing. He's like one of the guys who will valet park your car. And he's standing in front of the hotel, and this lady. This is at the Ilikai. It's very close to Ala Moana shopping center. So she goes up there and she asks him, "Can you tell me how to get to Ala Moana?" And he tells her how to get that. All you got to do is just take this street. And gives the street name, how to get there. I kind of forget how to get there. And he's saying all these Hawaiian names, right? And then at the end she goes, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you spoke English." Yeah. So it was a crack up then. Yeah. So what other areas besides Hawaii have you covered?
After Hawaii, I did LA for the third issue, and that covered just parts of LA County. So they land on Venice Beach, and then they deal with a lot of people like hawking their CDs like on Venice Boardwalk. Then they go to Vegas. Actually, I'm sorry, not Vegas, but San Diego, and then up to San Francisco. And I do this big montage just to cover so many areas. And then I get to do a lot of just funny knockoffs of businesses. So I did a knockoff of Enterprise, rent a car, and I called it Surprise, you can rent a car. I did a Disneyland knockoff called You Better Smile Land, and did, I think, Six Flags, I think called it 4 Checkpoints. So I did like all these like little knockoffs of areas. And it was just like a photo montage too. So once they're taking photos, you can see how annoyed the other people are in the back. Either they're doing it while they're driving, or they're standing in front of somewhere they're not supposed to be. They're standing on a ledge, maybe on the Golden Gate Bridge. So I did some really funny stuff from that. And then from there, we went to Vegas for issue 4, and they lucked into like winning every casino game. And then in issue 5, they go all the way to Florida. And at this point, they realize they've been banned from flying by this point, and actually going to try to return the rental car. And the rental car agent actually just called them and says, "You know what? You can just keep the car because I don't want you guys coming back. You're good." And then they get to Florida, and everyone kind of knows at this point, because there's news footage from Vegas, how annoying they are. So they're trying to prep for them. Because it's like, oh, we know they're annoying, but they're spending a bunch of money. Yeah, it should be fine. Let's, we'll just, I don't know, have like a lot of aspirin on handy so we don't get like headaches from them. Of course, none of it works. They just want to try to like, kind of have their cake and eat it too. Just have them make money and make money off of them, but then still like, it's not that bad. And of course, they just wreck everything. They go to the Everglades, which I really wanted to do because I wanted them to interact with animals. So they go on the swamp boat and they put their feet in the water, and all the snakes and the alligators just like escape from the water. They don't want to deal with them either. And it ends with them at the Disney World knockoff. Once they get off the swamp boat to Disney World, they have like this panic button there, and they shut down, they close like every single attraction.
Oh, crap.
And then once they get in, because everyone at Disney World just says, "Hey, look, just be quiet, don't say anything." And I guess one staff member that's not paying attention just says, "Oh, wait, what's going on? I don't, I wasn't paying attention." And then he like hits the panic button, undoes it, and everything opens up. And everyone's like, "Oh, no, now I got to deal with them." So I do another montage with them. It ends in Fort Lauderdale, where they're with all the spring breakers. And then, of course, they're just like, "Oh, oh, everyone's in swimsuits, let's be too. And then there's this big like blackout in the screen, and people are like, no, don't do it. And then everyone like faints.
Ooh.
And it turns out like they don't, obviously they're just in regular like suits, but they're like, we thought it was going to be worse. And then afterwards they get their car from the hotel towed back to where they are to tell them to leave, and then they go to DC, which is issue 6. And for each issue, like I wanted to show the progression of how many people find them annoying and what they have to do to try to avoid them. So once you get to issue 6, then each city and state tries to throw each other under the bus. So as they're going to DC, they're going through Georgia and the Carolinas, and they completely like shut down everything. It's like, dude, be quiet. We don't want to have to deal with them. And they get to DC, and DC thinks that, oh, there's this big storm coming. Oh, they're never going to come here. And then the storm never materializes, so they have to deal with them. But also the tourists think that the storm that didn't really happen, that's just a bunch of raindrops. Like they're like in full ponchos and they got umbrellas because they think it's some like big monsoon. So they kind of overdo it, even though like, it's not like a big deal. And each area that is still open, they go to different galleries like Smithsonian art museums, and they try to just say, oh, we're close. Oh, go to that one. And the one that stays open is like, hey, I thought we had this big deal that we're all going to look out for each other. Like, hey, look, hey, you're on your own. I don't want them coming here. So they're all trying to be like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't want to deal with them. You can deal with them. And it ends with them going to a restaurant, and they're also trying to look for the White House. And it's a running gag where they go to a house and they just go to a bunch of houses that are painted white. And people are like, no, the president does not live here.
Nice. I can see with the way how you set that up, and with so many tourists, so many stories that we have with the tourists, and you can take that everywhere. You've got a really good series there, because you can write about so many incidents, right? Because even I'm running through some of the ideas in my head on things that could be included in your series. So you've got 8 issues out now. Is that correct?
So I have 6 right now.
Oh, 6. Okay. And are you planning to do more, or is there going to be an endpoint to all this when you're going to end it all, or is this something that you're going to keep on going?
I want to run it for 12 issues, and the next issue is going to be in Sturgis, South Dakota, so they can go to the biker rally and to Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
I also have Philadelphia for issue 8, so I have some ideas, and then I can script it out later. So once it's done at issue 12, I'm also introducing some younger characters that may or may not join them, so I can kind of keep it fresh.
Okay, that's kind of cool, because that's one of the things that I was also thinking about, is like one character you can introduce that's just gonna die, And this character that I came up in my head as you were talking about, I call him like Mr. Selfie, right? Because he's the guy that wants to go to these high places. He wants to be the one standing on the edge of a cliff to take that selfie, and then he steps too far off and he dies. But hey, anyway, that's something you can use if you want. Let's look at some of the comments here. Stevie B writes, Allen, a near accident like that, and most people's first thought would have been 1-800-lawyer, not a new comic. Yeah, and actually, you know what? You're right about that, Stevie, because in Hawaii, when the tourists piss off the locals they just want to fight. So yeah, lawyer is going to come in last, but yeah, we understand what you're saying there. And Stevie also writes, I always associate Hawaii with tourism, but having recently returned from an Alaskan cruise, I now realize how reliant that state is on tourism as well. Yeah, that's something that's a big part of their economy. I think it's second to the military for them being stationed there. But yeah, they've always played a big part of the economy for Hawaii. Uh, let's see. Nathan writes, my godfather was 100% Hawaiian and lived on Kauai. I visited him and his daughter in Lihue, and they educated me on island stuff. Yeah, and there's going to be a lot of slangs that you probably learned about there on how to say things or understand like how some of the things that are said there. My cousin told me there's special pricing for locals on Kauai. That's actually throughout the all Hawaii, and it's called the Kama'aina rate. And if you can pass that, we Hawaiians can recognize each other, and so some places will, a lot of the religious places will ask you to present a local ID, a Hawaii state ID. Some places will just look at you and they'll know, and they'll say, okay, yeah, and they'll say, yeah, bro, I'll let you in. You get the Kama'aina rate, right? So it is something there. It's good to help um, locals enjoy some of the things that the tourists are enjoying at a cheaper price. Now, for instance, there's this one place that I like going to, and it's at the Sheraton, and I forgot what the name is of the restaurant, right? But they have a breakfast buffet there every morning. I think the regular price is like $40, right? But the Kama'aina rate for the locals is $25, right? So it's kind of a substantial price break, right? So if you go to Polynesian Cultural Center, they have a slight Kama'aina rate as well, and not as big as that. But usually when you go to the Polynesian Cultural Center, you go in there with like a big group. So like if locals have a bunch of relatives visiting and so forth, and you're going, like the last time I went there, I was there with a party of 16 people. My cousins from Australia came by. So that helped me take care of them at a discounted price. So it does help affect that way. Ethan is asking, Alan, if you have any future projects with a different storyline than going to it.
For different storyline for projects, I have a science fiction series called Cosmic Force. That has some older Hawaii ties to it. Actually, it takes place in Hawaii in the late '80s to early '90s, and it's about 5 people who go missing during a meteor shower, and they come back, and they've lost 2 years of their lives, and they also have these abilities, so they have to kind of find their way back to their loved ones, and also not be tracked down by government agents. And that's actually going to be ending. I have about 6 issues of that. That's ending in 8, and I just scripted the final 2 issues, and then I'm working on issue 7 now, which is going to be about 60 pages or so, and I got 37 that are ready to be inked, that are ready to be colored.
Okay, so I've scooted myself closer here to the mic. Hopefully everybody can hear me better. And then let's see, Stevie B writes, is there a island dislike for Magnum PI? What do you think about that, Alan?
I actually don't think, although hard to say because I grew up with the original series. I know they did a reboot. Yeah. People like both originals, Hawaii Five-0 and Magnum PI. Oh, they love it. I'm not sure about the reboot because I know a lot of people love just whatever they grew up with. So I would just say, if just talking about the original, oh, they love it. They love Tom Selleck. Most of the people that came over at that point, they were really beloved, really nice, because there is the outsider mentality of Hawaii. But if people come there with respect, they'll embrace you, and you'll just be family.
Yeah, you're right about that. I was actually I was there too when they did Magnum PI the first time around with Tom Selleck, and they shot a lot of scenes in Waikiki. There's and you might know this, Alan, but in Waikiki there's that one building they used to call it the Pineapple Building. That had the Bank of Hawaii on the ground floor, with the McDonald's there. But I used to work in that building on the 11th floor, facing, and my office faced the beach, right? So whenever they filmed Magnum PI, and it was usually close around there to the Royal Hawaiian Shopping Center, and there would just be mobs of people on the sidewalk trying to get a peek, a look at Tom Selleck and whoever else they have on the set there, right? And whenever that also happened, our office would empty out, right? Because in that industry, at least during that time, 95% of the employees were women, right? So if I stepped out of my office and I looked out throughout the floor, it was empty because all the women had gone downstairs to try and get a peek of Tom Selleck, and the women, they ranged in age from 19 to 64. It didn't matter how old they were. They just went downstairs to try and get a peek, regardless or not if they had used up their their break times or not. They just ignored it all and went down there. But I played it safe and stayed in my office because I didn't want to get caught in that jam. Hawaii has a very big love in sharing their island and letting people see it. So whenever they have these shows there, they're actually kind of proud of it. So I can't say that they would be resentful of any show there, including the new series of Magnum PI. I believe I was there for a little while when they first started filming the new series, and at that point, before I left, I did not see anything negative of Hawaii's dislike of the show. But I don't know, maybe something happened, something changed, and I just don't know. So maybe you heard something we don't know about yet. Stevie B is writing, doesn't Roseanne Barr live there and has a macadamia farm or something like that? I don't know. Do you, Alan?
I'm not sure about Roseanne Barr. I know a bunch of other people that maybe have houses there.
Yeah.
Especially people who did grow up there. Obviously, you have like Kelly, who you have Bette Midler.
Yeah.
Obviously, Barack Obama.
Of course, yeah.
I guess partially Dwayne Johnson. He was there, I think, till high school, but then he went to Virginia. So he was there for a couple of years.
Yeah. And those people, when they come back, even Jason Momoa, he still has family there as well. And whenever he comes to the academy, he's so friendly, and he doesn't, he's not afraid to mingle with the public, and he does it very often there. So it's enjoyable to see these guys when they do come back. How much love they give back to the people of Hawaii. Right, so they're very supportive here. So that's one of the things that is special about Hawaii, where we can share things like that. And we are at 7:30. Don't forget that if you want to win this drawing of Can't See Too Well, maybe JD, you can bring it up, of Dr. Doom. Post that in the comments, # Dr. Doom EXP, and that will get you qualified to get into our drawing. Okay. And on that note, we are going to take a short break. We will be right back. We'll talk more about Hawaii, damn tourists, and talk about the giveaways that we have on this show. All right. So we'll see you guys back in a little bit.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.
You just finished the last episode of your favorite new show, and you just have to talk about it. But all your friends are ghosting you because of that incident last week at the buffet. Oh, you know the one. What you did to that chowder. Ugh. Keeps me up at night. So what do? Join writer Dan Wickline as he breaks down all your favorite pop culture media. Whether it's a review of the latest nerdy TV show or a dive back into the history of your favorite comic characters, Dan's ready to discuss all the hottest topics live. Join the conversation as Dan live streams Tuesday through Thursday at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. The Dan Wickline Show, on The Experience, comic culture and sales.
Hey guys, welcome back. You're on a Sketch Up with Mog and Mel on The Experience. And so The Experience now has hit 2,000 followers. It seems like we just recently hit 1,500, and here we are now at 2,000. Now with that, we're going to be giving away 20 CGC Slab comic books, okay? And we'll be giving one away next week, Thursday, on our show, so we're happy about that. And stay tuned to the other shows that are happening on The Experience, like Nick's Original Art that happens every Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. PST. He'll be giving away one as well. Great show to watch if you're into getting original art. And speaking of original art, we are giving away Dr. Doom. So I see some of you already put in the # Dr. Doom EXP. In the comments, that will give you that will qualify you to get that drawing. This is we're giving this away free of charge, and we even pay for the shipping as well. Okay. Now also, Allen and Mog has been working on their drawings as well, and you can kind of see that Mog is doing a Wolverine. So if you want to bid on that, just say Wolverine in your bid. We haven't got the opening bid on it yet, and that is going to be 75. And you can kind of get a good picture of where that's going right now. Alan is also working on one of his characters. Can you show us what you have right now, Alan? Or where you're at with it?
Sure. So, sorry about that. Okay.
No worries.
Yeah. Sorry if it's a little bright. I can turn down the light.
Yeah.
I'll turn this down a little bit. Sorry.
Oh, there you go. Okay, there we go. Maybe if you tilt it the top forward a little bit.
Yeah.
That way the light doesn't. But Alan is looking for an opening bid on that for $20. And this is one of the characters from his series, the Damn Tourists. Okay. And you can see the books that he has available, that he's produced and created off of his site, his website, where he does offer them up there. You can get the whole complete series. But for this show, he is offering them at a very special price, and you'll be able to get that. How are they going to be able to get that, Alan?
I have an online store, indieplanet.com/Carter-comics. I have all 6 issues of my Damn Tourist series there. It's either available through download, or you can order a physical copy if you'd like.
Okay. And if they order all of them, what special price did you have in mind for them for that?
I believe for that one, I think you can get 6 for 50. Just because that's just kind of how I had set it up when I do the online sales.
You can get a special deal on that for $50 for a whole set. and he is planning to have that be a 12-issue series. And so he's halfway there. So you're coming in the midpoint if you pick it all up. Great series. Sounds like that it's going to be. It's got interesting situations to cover there. So if you like The Simpsons or King of the Hill, that kind of comedy, I believe you will like this as well. Okay. And
I have a question
yes, what is your question? Mog has a question.
for Alan.
Mhm.
So it's the story premise is like the main characters keep going to different states for traveling. What is their reason to continuously like keep traveling?
They are just eternally on this vacation, so they wanted to go to like all these different areas, experience all these different things. I'd also mentioned to Mel that there's a lot of things that aren't really known about them yet. It goes in as the series goes along, like by the 6th issue, people are starting to wonder where they're from because they're getting really annoyed by them, and they're like, oh, where are these people from? So wherever they're from, more of them can't show up, and there's like kind of like this big mystery about it. So that's also part of their reasoning for traveling. It's they're just going to different places. Then you kind of later know as it goes on to like maybe like the 10th or 12th issue. I'll start to reveal that along with some other characters that they meet along the way. They've met at least 2 or 3 characters that are kind of similar to them, but maybe slightly younger. So a lot of that's building towards issues, say like by even 10 to 12.
Right.
Okay.
All right, and you have a bid on yours, Alan, for $20 from Nathan Price.
Woohoo, thank you, Nathan.
Oh.
Nathan is the creator of Night of the Chihuahuas, and if you have not checked that out, and we're eventually going to get him on the show as well. Have you been to these places that you have the characters visiting, like Mount Rushmore and Sturgis? Have you been to the places that you're bringing your tourists to?
The only place I haven't been to is Florida in issue 5. And everywhere else I have been to. Either I've lived there or have visited there. So for DC, my sister lives in Arlington. So I went there twice. And I was able to take a mixture of what I experienced there and then what I Google searched. And even for places that I haven't been, it could be like for Florida, I can say, oh, I really wanted to do the Everglades. Haven't been there. Let me find out everything about that, because I'll have to do scenes where you have the tour guide and she has to explain everything, when this was founded and things like that before you get into the comedy. Even for DC, I've never been to the Smithsonian museums, but I had been to the waterfront, so I put both in there. It's just for the waterfront, I didn't have to put too much in there because I could say, oh, I kind of remember when I went. But for the museums, I said, oh, I've never been there. So what museums are going to work where they can cause the most trouble? And it's like, oh, okay, let me pick like these 2 or 3. So it's fun. Like either way, it's like a lot of fun because either I remember it or it's a lot of fun research to do.
Right. Yeah. And Jamie writes this that he's been here for 3 years and still hasn't been to Venice Beach. And he says, I hear it's not great. But the point that's interesting there, it's amazing how that we live in these areas and there's like great things or things that are very popular to go do and see, but yet we don't do it. It's like it's in our backyard. And so I was kind of like wondering, are there things in Hawaii that, for you, Alan, that you haven't done that seems to be like an attraction for other people that come there? Like, have you been to the Pearl Harbor Memorial Museum?
I think I went there once because that's one of those things where if I wasn't there when I was a kid, then you'd wait till your relatives would come over. So a cousin and I came over when I graduated in And yeah, we went to Pearl Harbor, the memorial. I did go to Ford Island, but this was when they had the ferry before they built the bridge.
Yeah. That's
of course, Diamond Head, and there are a lot of places where field trips you could go there. So then you could feel like, oh, okay. Even when you're grown up, it's like, oh, I totally don't have to do tourist thing because I went as a kid, and that's totally fine. So Diamond Head, we went for a field trip once. Trying to think, there's some other places. There's so many places that are gone too, like Dole Cannery we went to.
Yeah.
When it was still operating.
Yeah. There's I'm trying to think, like, what have I not done in Hawaii? And I just can't think of anything that I haven't done there. I've done all the big things, and there's like you said, there's like things that you can't do anymore that are no longer there.
Like, can I say something adult here? No, never mind. There's some spots where you can, you can make out, in the thing, but it's so crowded now, you can't do it anymore.
She's talking about these places where you can watch the submarine races.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, where you can take your girl and never mind. Yeah.
I've never taken Bond to any of those places. Yeah, it's just stories that she's heard from like other people. But going to Diamond Head was a thing. That's something that we did during high school. I went there. Actually, I think I went there twice during high school. But even after high school, I've gone there like very often. And then when I actually brought Mog back there, we went there quite a lot, doing because I do like hiking. So I take her out to the pillbox, to Makapu'u, to the where other places that are out there, Waiea Falls and Manoa Falls. All the falls are great places to do hikes, so I really love doing all that. Taking her to where they have the turtles. You can see them. There's a lot of other places where you can see the turtles that the tourists don't know about. I'm not going to mention those places because the locals are still trying to keep those contained as much as possible. But the ones that, like places like, what's that one place down where we used to go snorkeling with the fish?
Hanama Bay.
Yeah, Hanama Bay, when I used to go there was no road going in there, right? But we would drive our cars in there when they would open the gates and park in the trees. And there was this big stairs that we would have to use to get down there. Okay. Now they actually have a road, okay? And they have kind of like a visitor center. And you have to watch this video that teaches care of the bay because the life in there is just dying. Okay, but even with that effort, it's not really helping it at all, and it's the pollution that the tourists bring that's actually killing the bay. It's the suntan lotion, the food that they're trying to use to feed the fish that you're not supposed to, things like that. So, but when we used to go there, it was pretty much raw. And there was a lot of times there was only like maybe 3 groups of people that were there. I'd walk down to the cooler of my hibachi grill because we'd be cooking fish on the grill, stuff like that.
You know what that reminds me, Mel?
Yeah.
What I like to do is I like sometimes on our break. Back then, I used to work in the tourist industry, so me and my coworkers, which were mostly men, we would go check out the models. There's a lot of model shooting, and we would just check them out. It's just so nice if you're a man to see just women walking around in bikini, stuff like that, and lots of Japanese models actually, and them posing in the beach and stuff like that. That was really fun.
My claim was in was in the early '80s when Sheena Easton was kind of hot during there. She had a big hit, and I actually went to Turtle Bay on the North Shore, and she was actually there. In this nice red bikini. She was hot. She was hot. So I didn't approach her then because this would be, but you could tell that from the little roomies that she was there. But I think that's the only story that I saw at the um, okay, so they saying I'm going out again. How does this? Hopefully this is better. And I did see that European vacation TV. That's what I was telling you about. Let's continue. Like, have you ever taken a tour of the pineapple fields and asked a local where the pineapple trees are? Actually, I was in the field when that happened. That actually happened quite a bit. The person who asked, I thought pineapples grew on trees.
Well, I was making reference to that. I was saying, like you said, you've done all the touristy things in Hawaii. Have you taken a tour of the fields and asked them where the pineapple trees are? Because that's a touristy thing.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Oh, I've done something similar to that.
What's that?
Like most of my customers were Japanese, and there was I like this one. One guy, he was like, "Oh, monkey tree." So I was like, "Huh? You wanna go to monkey tree?" Yes, monkey tree. So I was like, "You sure you want to go there? It's really far." It's like, "Yes, monkey tree." So very famous monkey tree. So I said, "Okay, it's like a 2-hour drive. You better go now." And he's like, "Okay." And I took him to a restaurant called Monkey Tree that was in Ko'olina, all the way where there's Disney Resort. So imagine you are like, this is the east, this is where the Waikiki is, and it's west here. It's almost all the way there. And I would direct him there, but the thing is, the monkey tree that they're going is actually only maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes drive. It's one of those, there's a Queen's Garden that has literally a monkey tree that is supposed to be really big and over 100 or 200 years old. That's why it's really big. But I would misdirect them like that.
Yeah, when she told me that, that's when I corrected her that they're not asking to go to the restaurant. They're asking to go see this tree. And there's this one main tree that was planted by the
it's so
French.
famous, this
in
monkey
this
tree.
place that's called Honolulu Gardens, and that's the tree they want to go to. Before, a lot of locals would get married under that tree. Not as much as now, but
it's so famous that the Japanese, in one of their famous one of their, just think
their
about like,
travel books.
no, it's not even that. In their film production, like over here there's Warner Brothers, like those big name film production companies. One of the film production companies actually uses that logo, the monkey tree logo. It's that famous. And I would misdirect them to go all the way in a different place. And I did that for a while, for about a year, until I really realized what they meant. And I felt really bad. So, but it was not intentional. So yeah. So that's exactly like one of the characters he has, misdirection. I'm literally misdirection. Yes.
Yeah, I would not ask Mom for directions.
Do not ask me for direction if you want to live.
Yeah, don't even ask which way is north, east, or south.
Okay, that I know. At least the direction is the south with.
She thinks she knows.
Dude, I do know, dude. Okay, and remember over here, there's this famous national park, Muirswood.
Yeah.
You say, "Hey, Mog, you've been here for like lots of years. I've never been to Muirs. Can you like guide me?" And I would say, "Sure, you follow me." And then we're what?
We got lost.
Yeah.
And that
walking
happens,
hours and hours in the
often,
mountain.
So. But yeah, it was only supposed to be like a 20-minute walk. We ended up walking for, I don't know, like 2 hours.
No, it was 3 hours.
Yeah. We got really totally lost there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the last time I let her take that lead. Mischief is correct, Nathan, or mischief.
Yeah, but why is it? It's not really mischief if you don't intend it, right?
No,
Like,
it wasn't.
yeah.
But the thing is that she told me that she knew this place like the back of her hand.
Yeah.
Must have been somebody else's hand. All right, so we're still looking for an opening bid on Mog's Wolverine there, and Alan, I believe, has his opening bid at $20. So if you guys want to continue bidding that up, do so in the comments. Don't forget to put in # Dr. Doom EXP to get your chance to win this Dr. Doom. Okay. And you can get that free of charge. And Stevie B, I haven't mailed yours out that you won last week, so if you win this one, that'll be a good score for you as well. Okay. And I'll get to that next week when we get back from San Francisco, just to kind of like give you a heads up there. Okay. Now next week on the show, we'll be giving away a CGC Slabbed book in celebration of the experience reaching 2,000 followers. Right. So you're going to want to stay tuned to that, and be sure you get to be on that show next week. And on that note, we are going to take our next break, and we will be right back.
Why was Princess Zelda sad after watching a bunch of YouTube videos? She couldn't find a link in the description. We'll stop if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's super easy. Click subscribe and click the bell when you do. And thanks for supporting the EXP.
Imagine being at a convention and going to an interview panel that's just for you. No bustling crowds, no hours-long lines, just you, the moderator, and your favorite comic book creators. Well, this is pretty much that. Miss Jen sits down every week with 2 comic book creators for a live stream interview about their latest work, and you can ask them whatever you want. It's Talking Shop, Mondays at 5 Eastern on The Experience, Comic Culture and Sales. There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
According to a statistic that I just made up, people spend 4 hours a day changing the television channel. People who watch The Experience don't do that. Save yourself a ton of time by tuning into The Experience and enjoying our new original programming 7 days a week. And then tell your friends. Think about the money they could save on batteries in the remote alone just by tuning into The Experience. Find out more by scanning the QR code below.
Welcome back, guys. Glad to see you guys here on a Thursday evening. You are watching Mog and Mel on SketchUp on The Experience. And we have Alan Carter here with us today. He's been sharing with us his series, The Damn Tourist. And if you want to check that out, you can go to his website, purchase the whole series. He's giving you a special discount when you do that. And you can check out all the other series that he's been working on as well. So, Alan, what other shows have you got lined up for the rest of the year?
So my next show is at North Figueroa Bookshop. It's a real special one because this is one I'm actually helping to put together with the event coordinator of the shop. This is in Highland Park, and it's next Saturday from 6 to 9. And it's going to be a big discussion forum along with some sales. But the big thing is going to be a big roundtable discussion with believe like about 4 other artists that'll be there. So people will get to know not just like our works, but some of our influences, how we came up with the characters, maybe what interests we're into, what guided us to creating these series, or any other type of influences. So it's going to be a lot of fun, because I've done a lot of conventions. This is the first time I've really been in the process of planning a show, even if it's a small show. After that, I have possibly Long Beach Comic Con. I'm still waiting on the booth.
Okay, that's in September, right?
Yes, September. I think it's 3rd and 4th. I know it's Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, Labor Day weekend. Okay.
And then there's Cosmic Comic Fest in San Bernardino. I was just confirmed for that. That's Saturday, September 16th. I believe it's at a San Bernardino Arts Center. Unfortunately, I can't remember the name offhand, but those are coming up. Possibly LA Comic Con at the end of the year, but I just have a few left.
Yeah, that's the same with us. We have Fan Expo San Francisco during Thanksgiving, and LA Comic Con. That's all we pretty much have left. Oh, we got let's see what I think it's called Comic Palooza. There's another one that's called Comic Palooza, which is in September as well. That's what's that area called? Temecula, right? But you know what else is in September? Is Batman Day on September 16th. Okay? And the experience is going to have a very special bunch of events that are going on. So you're going to want to pay attention to that. So I'm just, it's all in the planning stages, but we got some really, really good things happening on that. So you're going to want to keep watching the experience to learn more about that. And Mog, you said you had a question?
Huh? I did?
Yeah, you said you had a question.
Oh, Allen, can we see what you got so far?
Oh, sure. So I'm doing the inking, so it should be a little easier, hopefully. Let's kind of move that up a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of see something there. Yep.
Yeah,
hard
maybe
to-
I'll move it. Yeah, I'm trying to see
It's
if I
very
can.
white right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Let me see if I can turn
Well,
down.
I can't see.
If you
Yeah.
tip the top of the board down, that'll deflect the glare.
Yeah.
Yeah,
let's
okay.
see.
Kind of
There you go.
Shoot.
can.
Try
wait,
tipping
turn it here.
the top of the clipboard towards the camera, so kind of at an angle. Is that not working? So it shades itself from the.
Yeah.
There you go. We can see
Yeah,
a
I can
little
see
bit
a
more
little
that way.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I've got most of the pencil. Hopefully, yeah, because I was inking it too, so hopefully the ink would show. I could just see a little bit on here.
Nice.
Yeah, it's so weird. I think the more I turn it, the more you can see it.
All right.
What's interesting about your story is that it's like there's really no like main antagonist or protagonist, and if it is, the main character itself is the protagonist / antagonist. And I find that interesting.
Yeah, it was fun trying to come up with that, because I wasn't sure if I was gonna do it as like the superhero parody or just parodies and just obnoxious tourists. So then I could just have them be both and just say, these are the characters that you did that are based on people that you might have found annoying like in real life, but because I make them clueless, you can't really get mad at them. You're just kind of thinking or at them.
Yeah. Nathan said that's sweet. Are you really? You're going to be at San Francisco and LA, Nathan? He's from Phoenix, Arizona, so that'll be interesting there. And Stevie B writes, I'm beginning to think it's a portrait of Claude Rains. Okay. Yeah.
What's that?
And we have, okay, I see. You're going to be at San Francisco and David will be in LA. All right. Oh yeah, and yeah, we're confirmed for those shows, so yeah, you can definitely see us there. And Alan is working on the LA one, right? So that'll be interesting, right? You can hit both of us down there, okay? And yeah, Katie, right? You mean Phoenix still exists? I thought it would be a wasteland of molten slick after the heat wave. Hey, actually, I actually like Phoenix. It's actually
Yeah.
a cool place there. The people love art. If you haven't done that show, Alan, I do recommend it because the people there love, and it's because of Brian Polito. That's his home turf. That people there are into looking into independent books and into the creators, right? So that's more of a true comic focused con than the other cons are. Right, and Jenny's got that on the screen right there. If you want to win this Doctor Doom, put in the comments # Doctor Doom EXP, and that'll give you a chance to win that beautiful piece free of charge. We even take care of the shipping as well. Okay. Yeah, we're still looking for a bid on Bond's Wolverine for 75 8.5 by 11, and you can see that she's working that up. And also, what we're doing here is we have a Game of Thrones exclusive print that's pretty much all gone. This was a giveaway at Gem State Comic Con earlier this year. It was a special piece that Mog had done for the show, and they put that out, and it was gone in an hour. But they did give us a few copies, to have of our own, and I have 5 of those available. We got a total of 6. We're going to keep one for ourselves. So if you'd like to get one of this, just say so in the comments. Game of Thrones. It is $30, and that does include shipping as well. Okay, so that's pretty much pretty much flat to you. Welcome, Val and Jay. Good to see you.
Hello.
What's up? Joining in from a very warm Houston, Texas there. Thank you. That's great to hear because we're over here. It's actually cold up here, Val. It drops down into the, what is it, 57, 40s?
Low 50s.
Low 50s, okay. And that's for this Hawaii boy, that's pretty cold. Yes.
But also, if you get older, you're more sensitive to cold anyway, because your blood pressure kind of drops, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was the Game of Thrones exclusive print out there. So if you want to get that, just write Game of Thrones in the comments. And that is $30. 5 of those are available. Whatever we sell today, that will be pretty much it. If I don't sell all of them, they're going to go into the archive. You won't see them for a very long, long time. Low 50, that's why we were at. You're at 100. I wish it was 101. That would have been nice for this Hawaii boy. Yeah.
No, actually, I do like it a bit on the cool side, because when it's hot, it's hard to fall asleep. What about you, Alan? Do you sleep better in the cold or the heat?
Definitely the cold. Just all
Right?
those nights, not just Hawaii, but parts of LA, because this past week it got kind of humid for LA, and it was really bad. I mean, it wasn't
Right?
as bad as last year, but I could still feel it where it's like, at least with dry heat, once the sun sets, it's not too bad. You can feel like the heat kind of evaporating in the sky, so it's like a little bit
Yeah.
cooler, but with the humidity, it's just like you can't get cool. And it's like you're constantly like just sweating and you're just like just dripping. I hate that feeling.
Yeah, me too. I get you, man. I know exactly what you mean. Yeah.
I don't sweat that profusely, so I don't. I guess that's why I don't mind it as bad. So yeah.
How come you travel a lot, Alan? Is it because you like it, or is just your destiny?
I've always liked traveling, even from growing up in Hawaii. Even if we didn't travel off island a lot, I would get to see like more parts of the island, and my dad would do that for me because living in the Waianae Coast, it's almost like Waianae is pretty much its own island because it's so isolated. So
Yeah.
when you're going out anywhere, if you can get out at least to Waipahu, then it's like, oh, okay, cool. You can go to Pearl City everywhere. But I loved going to the windward side. My dad would take me to Poly Lookout a lot, take me and my sister, and so much fun because, it's cool, it's windy. Sometimes you get the clouds like over the mountains and nice like scenic overlook. When I went back in 2020 to do the amazing Comic-Con Aloha show, I went there and then drove through the H3, of course, and it was just like, those childhood times where my dad would like kind of take me everywhere. So that went into just traveling, especially for shows. I loved when I got to travel to my first out-of-state show in BC, and I had to figure out how to take everything. To say, okay, am I going to ship everything? Am I going to just carry it on the plane? I'm like, I like to keep everything with me. So I just said, let me just take the damn tourist books, not my other sci-fi books. So I can break up my personal item and my check bag, and then another bag for my banner, and just making sure it's not overweight. And it was rough like the first time, but when I went to Denver to do the Denver show that same year, this is 2019, it was much better. I was able to carry things better. By the time I got to Hawaii, I was able to just say, oh, I got like an even better protective case for my banner. So by that time I was like, oh, okay, kind of got the hang of it. And then when I travel, if it's to a new place, I feel like I'm part of the city. I don't feel like I'm visiting. So it's like, oh, I'm technically coming here for work. I'm doing the show. And then when I'm done, I can have one day just to kind of just do, my own thing before I fly out. So it's such a fun thing to do. I also kind of like a rock show, because especially if we're going to different states, it's like, oh, my tour is going, oh, the Carter Comics tour is going to Denver. It's going to DC, it's going to Vegas. It's going to Hawaii. So it's so much fun to do.
Right. It is. It gets to be kind of a chore to be planning all that. Right. So, and I usually start looking at it in the last quarter of the year. Well, actually, in the third quarter of the year, which is coming up. We're actually in it right now, where I start looking at the first half of the year, like what where we're going to go, where we're planning, and it's coordinating with the promoters, seeing who wants to have us there, what can they do for us, and then trying to work out the logistics on that, right, and keeping track of everything. And then by the end of the year, in the last quarter of the year, I'm figuring out what the rest of the year is going to look like, right? And you got to look at all the projects that you're doing, so that way you still have the time to work on those. Like Mog is working on 2 sequential books, right? And then there's covers and commissions and games that she gets asked to do, right? So sometimes we have to deny doing a show because there just isn't the time available to do that. So it does take a while, and we are cutting back. But well, one of the shows that we're looking forward to doing, and I don't know if you are, Alan, because it just got recently announced, is Amazing Hawaii Comic-Con. Is that something you're going to plan to go back to?
Yeah, I wanted, when I heard about it, I was like, oh, that's awesome. It's not the best timing just because I won't have the money to do it this year, but hopefully I'll be able to do it like for the 2025 show. When I did it in 2020, that was the first time I did it. And it was weird because that was like about a month before the pandemic really kicked in. So it was a really weird time. And I stayed there. I got there like Thursday, and then the show Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I had Monday to just spend time with friends and look at my hangout. So though I like the amazing shows because the first day starts at 3, so you got plenty of time to do whatever you want. It's like start at 10, so that's so much fun, especially for that one, because I got up and I went to Anna Miller's for breakfast because I was staying at Pagoda.
Okay.
But before I did that, I went to Palo Lookout, took H3 over to the stadium, to Anna Miller's, got some breakfast, walked around Pro Riz, drove around to Waipahu, and then went back to do the show. And so I was able to kind of do that, see some friends, and went hiking after the show. But during the show, it was the very first show where I sold out of everything. And I only took 50 books. It was 10 issues for each of the issues. I had the 5 issues of Damn Tourist. By the end of Friday, I had 2 left of issue 1. 10 o'clock Saturday, I was sold out. I think by noon, I was sold out of issue 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think issue 3 sold out at the end of Saturday.
Right.
And then the last 2 sold out on Sunday right before noon. And we were going to do a panel because I was with this, the Hawaii Comic Book Alliance. I was with them, so we were doing a panel. And it was so funny because once we were done, because they told me, I think 15 minutes before, and then someone bought the last book. And they're like, oh, do you have any books? Like, dude, I totally sold out everything. I was like, what? Like, yeah, I didn't expect it either. But I was able to show the sample like at the panel and everything. But it was amazing. It was so much fun.
Right. Yeah, and then we're familiar with the Comic Book Alliance that's headed by Sam Campos, and he's considered the godfather of comics there in Hawaii. He did a series called Pineapple Man, which there's only like 4 issues out on that, and he hasn't put out a new issue in a while, but that thing is still popular. Back issues are well in the hundreds, hitting $300, $400, $500 a pop if you can find that, like that first issue. But they are extremely hard to come by. And and that's a great group of guys there. We know most of them that are in the Comic Book Alliance. But yeah, Amazing Comic Con is just getting to be like, that is the con that you want to go to, not just because it's in Hawaii, but it's because of how well the people have been receiving the artists, the writers, and the creators in comics. These guys are just hungry to meet them all. It is one of Mog's more, I'd say, well-known areas where she does like really well there. I know like there's other people that want to get back into the show because it does so well for them. People like Morant Michaels, David Mack, what's his name now? Ryan Kincaid is another one that wants to get back there as well. Howard Mackey is another one that wants to get back there. Mark Texera loves coming to Hawaii. So, hopefully, I don't know who's going to be there this time around. So it'll be kind of like exciting. We also have, we like to have a pre-dinner celebration, and we open it up to the people, that whoever wants to join us in that. We'll have it at a restaurant that's kind of fairly close by. And we'll limit it to about like 30 people, and I'll get a room that's just dedicated, just for us for the night. We have a lot of things going on in there, giveaways, and just eating some like good food and meeting some of the local people and talent that's there. So hopefully we'll be able to pull that off already. We're already confirmed for the show, so I'm pretty happy about that. Logistics have already been pretty much taken care of, so I'm not worried about that either. So we're pretty much like set to go. That's the only thing that I'm set for. Next year is the Amazing Hawaii in February, and we're ready that early for it because it's that good of a show. So we even have people that are fans that live here on the mainland. They're actually going to fly down to attend that show, for the experience. Plus, it's Hawaii, and some of them want to travel with us to do some of the things that we do there. And I told him, yeah, we can do that. So yeah, if any of you guys want to come down, I know Nathan just went down there recently, had a good experience. Got connected with Other Realms, a local comic book shop there, and that's how he was able to connect with us in Phoenix and be able to do some art for him as well. So we're very appreciative of that, and that is like one comic book store that you do want to visit if you get the chance is Other Realms. Right? That's a great show there. Okay, I will take care of that, JD. But so for next year, Alan, what shows are you looking forward to doing?
I always look forward to WonderCon. Before I sold out at Amazing Comic Con, that was my highest performing show, and that was my favorite show to do because it was just the best blend of the general audience that are going to panels looking for things they're aware of, along with people looking for maybe not specifically indie books, but just something that they've never seen before. They just had so many, and I think a lot of them did because it's been a while since they moved from San Francisco. I think a lot of people kind of still travel there. A lot of people in Orange County and also LA. And there's just a lot of people that come in. If there's a big group of people, maybe some of them want to go to a panel, they know what they want, and then a couple just kind of walk around, and they're the ones that want to pick up books. It's also at the right time because it's right around springtime. So it's one of those first shows when cons start up. So it's right around spring, right around the time people are getting their tax refunds. It's right across from Disneyland. So people will make a big vacation out of it. And when they're in that mindset, then they're just ready to they're so happy and they want to, buy like whatever they can because they're like, this is like the show where I'm going to like get something like really expensive or just get a lot of stuff. So they're ready to spend too, and they're looking for new stuff. It's the perfect storm for everything. So it's always like a vacation for me, because I'll usually get a hotel for a couple of days because I don't feel like driving from North Hollywood to Anaheim like 3 days. That'll exhaust me.
We're out in the Inland Empire, and this year when we did WonderCon, we actually I had a friend that had a connection. So we were able to stay at the Hilton right there, so we didn't have far to walk. But I don't know if we're going to do that next year. So, but I don't mind driving from where we're at to there, which is about an hour drive. And so, but yeah, and I'll probably, and I'm not even sure if I want to do it WonderCon next year. And it's just because of scheduling. And we're about ready to. Mom, can we show a better look of the Wolverine that you got right now?
This is the best I can show.
Right, can we bring it up to the camera?
I am bringing it up to the camera. Okay. If you do it that way, the camera is too dark right now.
So we're still looking for an opening bid on that for $75. If you want to get that, just say so in the comments. Alan's already got a bid on his of $20, and so we're happy for that. And that was done by Nathan, so thank you.
Thank you, Nathan.
Alan, can you show on your screen yet? Try to see what
sure.
where you're at right now.
Kind of tilted. I got some more inked here. Oh, so there we go.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, we can see it a whole lot better now.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
So I've got the main character. I've got two other characters I'm going to ink that are because this is our Mr. Aloha, so I have to draw the characters that are reacting to his shirt.
Right. Okay, fantastic. And we still have the Dr. Doom that we're giving away. So if you can put in # Dr. Doom EXP into the comments, that'll qualify you for the Dr. Doom giveaway. Yep. And if you want to get that Game of Thrones exclusive print, $30. We have 5 left. Just say so in the comments. Just say Game of Thrones, and then I'll follow up on that with you. Okay. Bada boom. And if you're in Oakland this weekend, Mog will be at the Main, and that's actually a game museum, right? So you can come there, check out the art, and then stay and play the games. Okay. And what's interesting about this Game of Thrones print is that it's something that you don't normally see because it's got Drogon in there, Ghost, and Jon Snow, right? So if you know about the Jon Snow series, there's some speculation that Drogon might be in there. It kind of makes some sense why he should be in there. So this will be the first time that we see the three of them together. That was an exclusive print that we did for Gem State Comic Con earlier this year. And when they put that out, it was gone in an hour. It's an 11 by 17, Val. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, it's not a small size. I know that's what you like. Go eat at Booma Superstar in Oakland or Alameda. What kind of food is that, Nathan? Is that Indian? Burma Superstar, I guess. Yeah. All right, so that is Indian, right? Yeah, actually, I was looking at Oakland. They do have a couple good, interesting Indian places there. So yeah, Burmese. Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna have time for that because let's see, we go in tomorrow to set up, and then the group wants to go eat like Asian food. Why? Because it's an Asian event. Which, yeah, okay, all right. I get it. Okay. And I don't know what we're gonna do Saturday night, but maybe I could talk a bit to going to eat Burmese food, which I really wouldn't mind at all. Stevie is asking, Mog, will the Wolverine be a pencil piece? Yes, yes, Stevie B, it is a pencil piece. But I mean, if you want her to color, you can negotiate that later. But right now, that's all it is for this auction. It is a pencil piece, right? Okay. Aside from the WonderCon, Alan, what other cons were you planning to attend to next year?
I'm gonna try Comic-Con Revolution again because I did the show this past May. I also did it the first 3 years, and it was fairly good. I wanted to try more shows that involved the Comic Arts Professional Society group. To support them at their booth. I also do want to try some smaller shows. I think one of the big things is that a lot of smaller shows are still trying to find a way to come back since the pandemic. So a lot of smaller shows, financial wise, they've been having trouble. And Art Walks have been one of my favorite shows to do outside of WonderCon because those were local, and you get a lot of people who can't really make it out to big conventions. So, for instance, I used to do the Reseda Art Walk, Monterey Park Art Walk, and Glendale is called Open Arts and Music Festival, and those three were really good. They haven't come back yet, and some are having some issues. So that's part of my schedule is kind of open for any type of smaller local show that's going to come up, because sometimes they might happen maybe like a month or two away from when it starts, so I might not be able to plan. So for now, I think WonderCon, Comic-Con Revolution, I guess depending if Long Beach has an expo this year, because they didn't this year, they're just having their fall show. And then I'll be open to just any other type of smaller show or even comic shop signing. Just trying to do like some different things along with bigger shows. So maybe smaller shows to get more people, to get maybe like some people involved that can't make it to big shows. Or if someone comes to a comic shop for a signing and they go to my show to pick up more things. So just a little bit of everything.
I think you're on the right track there. Before I continue with that, though, Val is asking, what size is the piece that you're working on?
That's a good question.
Oh, this is just an 8.5 by 11.
So, all right. So, Val, yeah, it's an 8.5 by 11. And he's drawing Mr. Aloha from his comic book series called Damn Tourists. And if you want to pick that series up, it is up on his website where you can get the whole series at a discounted price that he's offering up to our group there. And JD can post that link up there again in the comments there for you. Yeah, Mog's also is her piece is also 8.5 by 11, so we got that covered as well. But anyway, getting back to you, Alan. I think you're on the
8:30. We gotta take a break. Yeah.
I think you're on the right track by exploring like other venues on putting your art and your comic books out there, right? Because we're in a pop culture that has exploded on the market like it's never been before. And I have seen people at these other venues, art walks, even like these big food gatherings like 66 Market that happens out here. Um, and some other pop-ups. I saw like a pop-up of art that popped up here in Riverside. And the guys that I saw there were guys that I normally see at the cons, right? And they were just having like an art show all by themselves. And the prices that they were putting things at were much more higher than what we would normally see at the show. So I think that's a good thing. It's something that I want to explore. I actually did explore some of it in the past couple of years by doing some of these smaller shows like you have. Haven't been that successful yet, but still looking. It's always like a trial and error. It doesn't. The good thing is that it doesn't cost too much to try. These shows are either zero cost to you, except for maybe the gas that you take to get there, or it's a minimal fee, right? So, hey, and Val's got a bid on yours. She put it up to 25. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Val.
Okay. Glad to see you on the board in the show. Okay. Yeah, but so it'll be interesting to see what the results are, because like we did about a couple of years already. We did a show out in Heroes comic book shop out in Northridge, right? And we actually did pretty good there, and we sold things that we don't normally sell, and it was to just a totally different demographics of people, of customers that we don't normally sell to, but they knew the characters that we had, but they had never seen them in the ways that we had portrayed them. So that was very, very interesting to them, and they found it very appealing. And that's what kind of like got me started to try and explore some of these other shows. So yeah, I think it was going to be worthwhile. And okay, yeah. So Val is on the board, and again, if you want to win that Dr. Doom piece, put in # Dr. Doom EXP, then will qualify you for that drawing from Dr. Doom. Okay, that Mog did. Now, there was an issue at the San Diego Comic Con. Did you do that show this year?
I wasn't able to do it this year, unfortunately.
Okay. So there was a girl that was supposedly taken out, that got booted out because she had done AI art. Okay. And now I'm hearing like two sides of it. Before, the earlier story is that she got booted out because she's doing AI art. Now she's a traditional artist, and she's her work is actually not bad from what I've seen. But she just made that decision that the art that she would put out during the show was going to be AI. Now today I saw a posting from Bleeding Cools where they said that they had talked to San Diego Comic Con and they were not aware that this girl got booted out. So now the story is coming out to be where she was kind of bullied, and because of the kind of work that she was doing, and so she left of her own accord on Saturday, right? So I just wanted to get your opinion on the whole AI situation. How do you feel about all that?
I think that with a lot of these new technologies, what tends to happen is that what people don't want to do is kind of use it as a crutch rather than it's just another type of tool where it kind of supplements what you do. There's certain things that might call for it, but but you can still use like just regular hand drawn work. So I think like a lot of things, it just needs to be just done at the right time, just done in moderation, not to have like just to have something that's complete AI. Like I don't really think that's fair to have in a show, but if you're using it in certain ways, but you're also having like your own traditional art, I think that's totally fine. Because even goes back to just when people would just digitally coloring through Photoshop and just doing, and some people are now going back to just doing like hand drawing, even like just coloring, and just for commissions. And sometimes it's fun to do because a lot of people don't do it as much, so then it becomes a little bit more lucrative for people because now it's something that's kind of rare. So I just think it just needs to be done in moderation. You shouldn't just have a bunch of people just like, oh yeah, I did this whole like AI piece. Like, it's totally not fair to other artists. You just need to do it in moderation. You just need to do, just use it when it's needed. Just partially. That's really my view.
Because it's not going to go away. That's for sure. There's a lot of businesses that are using it already that we see. The problem isn't that it's being used as a tool. In fact, that's pretty acceptable. The problem is that when you take someone's art, put it through the AI prompts, and then it comes out and you're claiming it as your own and not giving credit to the artist that you kind of taken it from. So that seems to be like the major argument. And so I think that's what we need to try and figure out, right? How to handle that particular situation, giving proper credit, and how are you going to enforce it? Do you need to get the artist's approval to be able to use that? And my feeling is that they're probably going to say yes, because then you're going to be selling the end product of it and making money off it. Sure, they're going to want to get a cut. So I think it'll be something like along that line, but that's what it seems to me. Anyway, so on that note, we'll be right back, and we'll go into our final segment here, and we'll close out some of these subjects we were talking about. We'll be right back. Stay tuned, and we'll continue this with Mr. Alan Carter.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time. What if Hans Gruber from Die Hard had to battle the Joker from Batman the Animated Series in a dance battle? Or who would win in a race between Baby from Baby Driver and Snidely Whiplash? If Austin Powers and Shrek found themselves in a hot dog eating contest, who would emerge victorious? These are the questions we talk about on Nerd Killer Warfare. Debate the most absurd questions you've ever heard in popular culture. Register now by scanning the QR code or visiting bit.ly/EXP casting.
To be continued. 3 little words that hold the secret to the next great story. 3 words that will thrill you, confound you, give life to new possibilities. Every variation of To Be Continued is a promise. A promise of adventure. A promise of excitement. A promise of unseen wonders and unexplored worlds. A promise that every issue you read makes you a part of a never-ending journey. And behind every page, there will be an unopened door waiting for you. This story to be continued at your local comic book shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com today.
Because I fixed it.
Hey, welcome back, everyone.
What's
You can
up?
actually see us.
Damn it! I didn't want people to see us. So we can do something shady.
I don't know about that. Mog likes to operate in the dark. All right, let's see. So we've got JD's here. The sound of paper, pencil and paper is very relaxing.
Hey, Alan.
Stretch, stretch, stretch.
No.
Okay, I think what happens is that I sit here for 2 hours watching Mog draw, and I get hypnotized into bidding. I'm in for some.
Oh, thank you, Stevie.
The Wolverine that will go
Okay.
in with your macros from
Mel.
last week.
I want to ask Ellen a question.
Okay, go ahead.
All right.
I forgot now because you just wouldn't let me ask. Wait. I think I know. Oh, yeah. Do you sometimes get so, when you're drawing, engrossed that you don't even notice your room is getting darker and you forget to turn the lights on like that?
Yeah, that happens a lot.
Yeah.
Even like before I went on the stream, I was just getting into it, and I was like, oh, that's right, I have to turn an extra light along with like my ring light. But I'll do, especially inking, I'll get into that where someone has to just turn the light on. Like, oh, yeah, I was going to do that.
Yeah.
I do that for Mog. I'm walking by and she's in the dark and she's drawing, and then I put the lights on and said, how can you see?
Yeah.
And she's not even inking.
It's like,
but she's able to still draw. Okay.
yeah. What about like getting up to use the restroom? Do you kind of like I'm so bad at it where I'm like, oh, just another 5 more minutes. I'll just hold it, you know? Like, do you do that?
Yeah, it depends. Like whatever I'm really into, whether I'm doing the writing or any type of illustration, it's just, man, I'm in the groove. I'm like, I eventually have to use the bathroom. I'm like, yeah, but I might just lose it. I'm like, let me just go.
Yeah.
It'll totally be fine.
Yeah, you're just like, just wait another 5 minutes and see, let's do another 5 minutes and then, yeah, it's pretty bad for us, but yeah. What about you, Mel? Do you do that? You never hold it? Okay.
I gotta go, and I put it out there.
Might put it out there.
Just get rid of it.
But I do that especially during the cons. Because you're so busy and then it gets crowded. I'd rather hold it.
Okay, let's change the topic. We don't need to stay.
Oh, come on, Alan. You do the same, right? Come on.
Yeah, one thing, I don't really eat during cons. I tend to wait till after the show.
Yeah, you don't eat too. That's a trick too. Like I don't really eat, and I try not to drink too much. So yeah.
Yeah, I try not to do any pee talks. I think that's just like something that stays in private. I try to tell Mom that, but she does not listen to me on that. Somehow it tends to come.
Well, I don't know. Alan's comfortable. Alan's fine with it.
Yeah. So yeah, I just like to go in there and take care of my business and come right out. I'm pretty quick about it. All right. So Mog's Pizza has a current bid of $75. Alan has a current bid of $30.
Woohoo, thank you.
And is it Nate that has the bid on that? Alan's at 30. Yeah, it is Nathan that has that at 30. Thank you very much, guys, for that. You still have about 15 minutes or so to make those bids. So if you want to bid on those, we are accepting bids of in $5 increments, right? So
Oh, wait.
hopefully you can get your bid on there.
Hey,
Don't forget # Dr. Doom EXP. Get your chance to win that Dr. Doom. Okay, there you go. Pretty nice piece. Okay. Now Stevie B won it last week. He actually won the auction piece that Mog was drawing on Batgirl and the giveaway, which was another Batgirl. So he has that. Okay, Alan, another idea: Tales from the Outhouse.
oh, I like that. I was like wondering because with your book, it's kind of making fun of all the people. Do you like to watch people? Yeah, people watch. What's the word? People watch.
Yeah, people watch.
Do you do that? We just go out there and just people watch?
I think with a lot of things, like, because someone asked me, like, if I brainstorm, then it was one of those things where, like, I would kind of do things like unconsciously, because in terms of like when I went to the last time I went to San Diego for Comic-Con, this is like way back in 2012. I went to San Diego Zoo and watching the bird exhibits. There were like a couple guys that are trying to feed the birds like potato chips. So it's like, are you kidding me? And then I'm like, when I leave, oh, I'm totally putting that into the next issue of Damn Tourist, which I did because I was doing issue 2 at the time. So it's one of those things where it's like I think of it in terms of like inspiration for parts of a storyline or even like background characters.
Yeah.
It just happens to you as you're just like walking outside or doing something. You just happen to pick up these odd like things people do.
It's one of those things where I'm out. I just go out. I'm going to relax because I like to hike and like rollerblade. I'll like bike like around like Santa Monica like on the weekends, and I can just kind of turn my brain off in terms especially if I'm writing a story, and I can get away from it. And then these things tend to happen either when I get there in the middle or at the end, because I can finally just let me not focus on it, and then something will happen, and it just tends to work out that way. If I think about something, I'm just gonna like sit there and just give myself a headache.
Okay, I'm just curious, like as growing up, because it's kind of what you do is like comedy, like funny. Like, were you the one who entertained your family by saying something funny, jokes, describing what happened that day to you? Or were you just the quiet one?
Yeah, I was more quiet, but I would always kind of like slide in a joke every now and then. It was one of those things where like I would just happen to find the right time for it, and it would be totally unexpected because I wouldn't have said anything the entire night, and then people just they're surprised, and then they're also laughing like, man, where did that come from? Like, hey, someone said something, and I'm like, you just gave me an opening, I had to say it.
So you don't really mean to be funny, but whatever you observe, you would say it once in a while, and people are just like, "That's hilarious," like that.
Yeah, it was something like that, and again, it would just be so surprised because I hadn't said anything the whole time. It's like, man, you're so quiet, and then it just came out like that. I'm like, yeah, that's the opportunity came in for a joke, and I'm gonna do it. There's other times where if I'm with some other people, sometimes they might feed off of me, and I'll be like a little bit more outgoing. There are certain friends I was with. I had like a real best friend, and we would joke around a lot, and we would just kind of like record ourselves and playing video games and just saying like a lot of goofy stuff. So that was like one of the exceptions. Like we were around like your best friends, and you're free to like totally be yourself, and then you're just like playing off of that person. You're just like you're being goofy, and you're acting like you've never acted over around anyone else. Sometimes like even your family members.
Yeah. You kind of remind me of this guy. Well, many guys do this, but amongst their families, they're like super quiet, but amongst their friends that are super comfortable with, they're like super loud and talkative. So, yeah, I see. Because for me, I was such a chatterbox Like what do you go? Oh, are you like this where you don't really hide? Like you say everything in detail when you tell a story?
I think when I was younger, yeah, definitely. And then the older I got, then it depended on who I was talking to.
Okay,
There,
what if it's like your parents? Like you're like you still do that? You tell them everything brutally honest, like even about yourself?
usually like my mother, my sister, definitely, but usually like my dad, because personality wise, like my dad was more, he was more kind of short and to the point, so I would kind of play off of that, and then I would hang around like my mom and my sister more often a lot, and we would go out a lot together, and we talk a lot, so it was second nature to just talk in detail about a lot of things. So it depended on
Ah,
who I was talking to. It's like,
okay.
this person's, I'm, I'm always talking around this person. I'm going to tell them everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like for me, I don't know why. Whenever I came home, I thought there's an obligation to report everything. So, so I would say from like like whatever 8 in the morning till this, everything happened. Like I would tell them. Um, but that's so funny. I wonder though, like for you, you said your father is like, hey, just concise stuff, like Mel here. Just give me concise one sentence of what happened in your day. I don't want to know the details. Just give me the gist, and that's it. But are you naturally like that, or are you more like have this propensity inside you where I gotta describe it so you can really get the feel right? Like what what do you lean more to?
I think now that, I think now my writing kind of molds my conversation a lot. So when I'm writing a story and I'm doing dialogue, I end up kind of mimicking the type of dialogue that I would, do in a book, in terms of like a lot of like short to the point things. So it's weird. As a kid, it went from like my parents, and now just like my writing. If something happened, I'll just say, "Oh, yeah, I went to Santa Monica and did a bike ride," and then if someone had asked any more, then I would kind of go into it, but I wouldn't start off with, "Oh yeah, I took the train down there first and went through all of that." It was like I would do the basic thing, and then if they asked more, then I would like go more into detail.
Interesting. That's kind of like Mel then. You're like that too. Okay, dude, Mel is so concise. Uh, say he read like a thousand page book, right? And it's like epic story, and there's like 20 characters, right? And then he'll just say one sentence. It's epic fantasy. It's good. That's it. And the thing is, he loves it. And that's all you can. Oh my god, it kills me. Like, are you crazy? You have to talk more about why it's good and what's good and blah blah, because people are asking you, what is this book about? And you're like, I don't know, it's good. Oh, damn, Mel.
No, that's not exactly what I would say, right? Because I want to try to find out is like how interested are you wanting to get this information, right? So I'll say something. Hey, if he asks me how good the book was, I go, yeah, it was good, So I'll go ahead and do that. But anyway, so JD's saying that we got 5 minutes
Oh yeah, five
left to
minutes.
bid on the Wolverine and Damn Tourist, which is at $75 and $30 respectively.
Mm-hmm.
And we're also gonna do the giveaway. We'll spin the wheel for that, I believe.
Woo, that sounds
For Dr.
fun.
Doom. So if you want to get on that, just put in #
Do it.
Dr. Doom
Do it now.
EXP. Get that in there. Get a
Mm-hmm.
chance to win this beautiful Dr. Doom that Mog did. And don't forget, the Game of Thrones exclusive print is still available at $30. So you can put in for that as well. Okay, so it is at 8:55. JD, I think this is a good time to go ahead and spin that wheel.
Let's do it. This is our first
Here
time.
we go for Dr. Doom. So it's slowing down. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be?
Yay!
Mel wins it. She gets the Dr. Doom. And she likes things small because she doesn't have that much of a wall space, so that's kind of interesting.
How perfect is
If
that?
she wins that, then I will contact her about that, but she will get that piece from us. And don't forget, we are giving away 20 CGC slab books starting this Sunday at Fat Jack's on 4:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So you're going to want to start watching then, and every show on the experience will be giving away one of those books, slab books, that they are going to be graded at 9.6 and higher. All right, so pay attention to that, and we'll be very, very happy to come back next week Thursday to give away one of those slab books ourselves. Right, so once you are the winner for that, and we will let you know exactly what you won. But from the list that I saw, everything looks really, really, really good. Okay. Congratulations, Val. I'm glad you won. And like I was telling everybody, it's the right size
Yeah.
for you. And so now you have an original piece from Mog Park.
Dr. Doom.
And we do want to thank
Medieval.
we still got a few more minutes left if you guys want to bid on Mog's Wolverine or Allen's Mr.
Oh,
Aloha
let's see.
from
Let's see
his
his.
Damn Tourist series.
I want to see his stuff.
And here we go. He's showing us what he's got.
Just finished it. Let me tilt it a little bit.
The light.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Let me know which way. I can see the left, but yeah, I can't see the other ones.
Yeah.
If you spin the
downwards.
Yeah, put the top half
Is
of the
downwards
of the board towards the cat. There you go.
Oh.
That looks.
Oh my god, I can see it. Yeah.
All right, there we
I
go.
think you
There you go.
back it up.
That's the best one so far.
Okay.
Great.
What's the story there, Alan? What are you drawing?
So because I have like Mr. Aloha, I had to put the people that were reacting to him, so they're all covering their ears because of his shirt.
Okay.
They cover their ears because of the shirt. Oh, because his shirt sings?
Because the shirt's like it's like literally like a loud shirt, so I put like the little sparks to let them know. Yeah, of like, oh, turn down the volume on the shirt.
Loud.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, I got you on that, Stevie, and Mog will sign it because you have.
Yes, sir.
Since you've already paid shipping for that,
yes,
the
sir.
Books, that exclusive print to you will be $20, right?
Yes.
Since you got all these other things coming as well.
I try to draw the saber tooth.
So we'll go ahead.
Isn't it his brother? Isn't Wolverine's brother? Well, that's in the movie.
Yeah. So who's that? That's Sabretooth in
well,
the back?
kind of like Sabretooth at the back in Wolverine.
But that's a real Sabretooth.
Yes. Okay. You know, kind of like symbolic.
I see.
Do you understand symbolism?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay.
All right. So next week we have Martin Zavala that will be joining us as a special guest. So hopefully you'll be able to come on board with that. And we are at the top of the hour right now. So I want to thank Nathan for winning the Mr. Aloha.
Aloha.
And for once again winning Mog's
I know, Steve. You're the best.
Together, dude.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you for your support.
You're literally supporting us.
Yeah.
Oh, and then let's say thank you to JD always, as always. Yeah.
Special thanks to
JD. Yes.
For being and supporting us in the background. And anyone else that we should thank?
Val, thank you for dropping by. Nathan, thank you for dropping by. Stevie, as always. And of course, our show guest, Alan. Thank you so much for your time.
And we will be
Thanks for having me.
In the near future, I'm pretty sure of it. All right. And once again, start watching this Sunday, Fat Jack's 4:30 on the Experience. He's going to start giving away. He'll give away the first CGC slab book, one of 20. Okay, stay tuned for that. All right, guys. Thank you again. See you guys next week. Stay safe out there. All right. Take care now.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Do you remember what it was like when you were a little kid and you got a letter in the mail? Now imagine that letter was filled with information about your favorite shows, pop culture questions, links to things you're going to want to see later, and even sneak peeks at upcoming programming here on The Experience. That's what the EXP mailing list is. Every week, we send you sneak peeks, information, and all of the relevant links for all of the shows you want to see. Sign up now on our website or scan the QR code that's on your screen right now.